Hey guys, Dustin with Top Deck here, and today I'm going to be bringing you a Blue Eyes Chaos Max deck. Now, this is one of my favorite decks of all time. It's actually one of the first decks that I picked up to build when I got back into Yu-Gi-Oh! After like 10 years. So not only it being nostalgic, it was the first deck that got me into playing again. I know it hasn't seen too much competitive play, in the meta right now. So that's why I decided to pick it back up and, make my edits to the deck to, be able to combat the meta so you could play this nostalgic deck, and still be able to win too. Now, the main problem with the deck was, people thought rituals weren't good and it didn't have a turn one board. But that's what I've built this deck, is to be able to have a turn one board and to go second. I mean, it naturally can go second. So the way the deck is built right now, without siding or anything, it can go first or second, which is really nice. So you can build a side deck for it and everything like that. Just to give it that much more of a boost. But the way it's built right now, going into your blind first game, like it can go first or second, which is really nice. So, without further ado, guys, let's get into that deck profile. So starting off with the main man himself, we're playing Chaos Max, obviously at 3. I think 3 is the correct number on him. I mean, the deck is built all around him, so you want to be seeing him as much as possible. Being a 4,000 attack, he does double piercing, and his protection effect, he can't be targeted or destroyed by your opponent's card effects. I mean, that's really strong. So more than not, your opponent's going to have a hard time getting over this card, and the fact that you can pump multiple out is just even better. And everything's searchable, and this deck just flows very well in my opinion. So, with it being a ritual deck, I think this one puts out a lot of power. So definitely want to be playing him at 3. Now going into the quote-unquote baby, we play one of him. I did play 2, but I did drop 1, and you'll see why here in just a minute. But he's great too, honestly. He's got the protection effect as well. And he doesn't do double piercing, he just does piercing, but he's got a really cool effect where, when he attacks, he can turn all your opponent's monsters' battle phases and turn their attack and defense to 0, which is really good. And then when you combine him with Max, I mean, that's OTK right there. So you definitely want to play him in any chaos build that you make. So he's really good, but at least be playing him 1 because he is searchable, so you can get him when you need him. So definitely want to incorporate him into your builds. Now, I'm not even going to be trying to pronounce it. This is a mouthful, but you're going to want to be playing one of him. Don't sleep on this card. This card is what allows you to be able to go first. So it doesn't, it not only negates all your opponent's synchro, X-Seeds, and fusion monsters, but it also allows you're guaranteed, like if you go first, put them out, it guarantees you another turn to come back in OTK because they got to go right into their main phase too, so it skips their battle phase, which is really nice. So, and they've got to waste resources to get rid of this card too, not only that, so, and they're really only going to have their link monsters to use. So this, in combination with some of the other cards that you'll have on the field going turn 1, it's a really solid board considering it's a Chaos Max build. So this is really nice. Definitely incorporate this into the deck. And he's level 8. Unfortunately, he's not searchable. He's off by like 50 points, which is really annoying to be able to search him with Melody. But still, I mean, you can still get him other ways, like from your imcans and stuff. So I would definitely be playing him at 1. And he's not bad going second too if you need to turn off some monster effects. So I always keep him in there going first or second. Now into some Blue Eyes. Playing Blue Eyes, I'm sorry about that. Playing him at 3. I have seen builds actually drop this down to 2, which I could see you can do that. I just don't want to run out of fodder for advanced ritual arts if I'm pumping out, my ritual monsters. So, and I like the level 8s in the deck, so I play him at 3. That's my personal opinion. Any Blue Eyes build, I've played him at 3. It's just kind of standard, so... but you choose if you want. I would never go lower than 2, but in my personal builds, I always put him at 3. Now for my quote-unquote normal summon of the deck, I play Zaborg. Now I play this over Manju, and this is why. For one, he's a level 8, because we obviously play trade in the deck, right? But also, going turn 1, or even turn 2, he's good both ways. If you can actually resolve his effect, I mean, he does so much. So if you tribute him out and you get his full effect, you pretty much get to send 8 cards from your extra deck and then your opponent's extra deck right to the graveyard. So turn 1, you can get rid of 8 of their cards, and you can search 3 either ritual spell cards or 3 ritual monsters, and you can mix that up. You know, you can take 2 and 1, or however you want to do it, and then you can pop 3 cards too if you're going second. You know, and I'll show you those cards when we get to the extra deck. So I just think that's extremely strong, like, not to play that. And he's a level 8, so if you draw extra copies, you want to toss him off with trade-in. So this one just, it has so much synergy. So, you know, like I said, and all the combination things that you can do going turn 1, you can really leave your opponent high and dry with not much to do. So definitely consider playing Zaborg over the Manju. But that's my opinion, because you have so many things that already search all your ritual spell cards and monsters and everything like that. So I don't think it's really necessary. And I think if you actually get Zaborg off and he's good first or second, you know, that puts too much damage on your opponent. So definitely consider playing him. Another level 8, I play 1 Chaos Levianeer. You only need 1. He's searchable. And I use his effect to Reborn, really, is usually what I'm doing. Now, if you use him going second, I would use the pop effect. But he's part of the combo that you do going turn 1 to get into everything that you need to pretty much stop your opponent, you know, from when it's their turn. So you want to play 1 Levianeer, you know, and he's obviously a level 8, which is nice. So let's get into the incantations here, because I do play the Imcan engine in this. I'm playing 2 Candle. I don't think you want to play 3, honestly. You know, you don't want to see this card in your hand. You want to summon it from the deck. So that's why I play him at 2, and I play Talismandra at 2. You know, just in case you do draw one, you still have one in your deck. So that's why I play them at 2. Now I'm playing Pencil Plume at 3, and then I play the Stone at 1. Now my ratios for the Pencil Plume is you usually see more ritual monsters in your deck than you do ritual spell cards. So having him in your hand first is, you want to be able to search your spell cards too, because you have so many ways to get ritual monsters in your hand. So I think it's more important to be having him in your hand, and you know, because the odds of you having him and a ritual monster is higher than, you know, having a ritual spell card. So, you know, that's why I play those ratios. And then for the last Imcan, playing Shell Slime at 3. I mean, he automatically puts one up on the board, which is really nice, and he's a ritual monster too. So, I mean, I don't really use his other effect that much. Actually, I really never do. But he's definitely, I would play him at 3. If you want to drop him down and throw another book in or something, you can do that as well. But I choose to play Shell Slime at 3. So, but that will wrap it up for the Imcans. So just to go over, to play 2 Candle, 2 Talismandra, 3 Pencil Plume, 1 book, and then 3 Shell Slime. And I just find that I've messed around with those ratios so much, and I find that ratio right there works the best. So that is it for the monster lineup, guys. Let's get into the spells. 3 Chaos Form. I don't cut any of my ritual spells down at all. I play 3 of each. You want to see them. So that's just case in point. You want to see them. So I play 3 Chaos Form, and then 3 Advanced Ritual Arts, You know, you want to be using this one first, honestly, because it can run out of gas. You know, if you run out of blue eyes or if you're banishing them, you want to use this card first if you can. So definitely, you know, I choose to play them all at 3. So, and I don't play any of the incantation ritual spell cards. I'm not a fan of those, honestly. So I think they're too situational. I don't like them. I like to play them 6 and search what I need to. So, so let's get into some of the surge/draw power of the deck. Obviously playing Melody at 3. I mean, there's really no question there. I mean, any Blue Eyes deck or anything like that revolves around dragons or anything like that, or playing Melody at 3. So it helps you search out what exactly you need. So definitely a 3 of in this deck. We also are playing Trade-In. I mean, it works great in the deck. I mean, we play so many level 8s in here. You know, it definitely helps us draw through the deck. So definitely want to be playing 3 Trade-In. And then for the last draw card, this is not budget, but I choose to go the Pot of Extravagance. Now, I know this kind of conflicts with Zaborg there, but that's why I'm playing, you know, 3 of each of them. So just getting that +2, because you don't need your extra deck all that much, especially going second. You know, but the odds of banishing everything you need to use in there, because you know, you'll see when my extra deck comes up, I play 3 of everything that I need. So just in that case, but it helps draw through the deck. If you can't afford this card, what I would play is, you know, make 3 spots for, you know, your side out cards. You know, I like the Swords of Concealing Light, because it flips everything face down on your opponent's side of the field and allows you to go in for the OTKs. I was playing that card in an old build, but I chose to take it out. You know, you could just play some of them more win button cards. But speaking of those, I still choose to play Creature Swap at 2. You know, just to keep the normal, you know what I mean? Because this is just a 1 card. It can OTK and you could just get a good monster from your opponent. Like, it's a good card, honestly. You know, you give them an Imcan and run right into it with Max, I mean, it's game. So, I mean, it's just a nice little tech, and, you know, a lot of builds play that, but I just don't overdo it on that, because I wanted to build this deck to be able to play against the meta. And when you play, you know, if you start to load it down with too many gimmicky cards, sometimes you can't get through your engine and get to what you need to. So this one, I just feel like has a this build has a really good synergy of what it needs to do going first or second, you know. So I really like this build so far. So but that is it for the main deck, guys. It's a clean 40. So let's get into, you know, the extra deck here. So I'm going to start talking about what you're going to be sending off Zaborg and what they do. So the Elder Entity, she's the one, if she is sent to the graveyard, you get to pop a card. So say if you're going second, you send all 3 of these to the graveyard, you get to pop 3 cards. Because remember, you pop Zaborg, you get 8 cards you can send right from, you know, your extra deck and your opponent's. But for as far as yours, you're going to send these 3 if you're going second. Now going first or second, you're going to send Herald, because he can search you a ritual spell card or a ritual monster. So you get to go +3 on that right there. So that's a really nice, like I said, that's why I think Zaborg's huge. I think he's just a better play to do in your build. So those are like the 6 targets you want to be sending off Zaborg there and what they do. So one helps clear boards, and then the other one helps get out your all your ritual monsters to run in for the OTK. So it's perfect. So going into just some of the rest of it's just a bunch of level 8s here. So you can kind of pick and choose what you want to do for these, but I'll let you know. These spots I just chose to play like the Galaxy lineup here. You know, just be able to tag out and get into big monsters or take monsters. You know, that's why I chose to play these 3 here. These ones you can really pick and choose what you want to put in these 3 spots. I just chose these ones because I like to play around with them. So, but like I said, you can pick what you want for these ones. Now on to the next ones here. These 3 spots are for your negates going first. So I choose to play 2 Hope Harbinger just in case I banish one. And then I do play the number 23 because he's the Omni negate. Sometimes it's better to throw him up there so you can, it's not just spells like this one. So that's why he's kind of nice. So I play it 2. 2 and 1 here, so odds are I'm gonna have one of them to go into, say I use my Zaborg, or if I use Pot of Extravagance, just something. Odds are I'm gonna have one of these guys left, because turn 1, you can end on one of these guys. Your ritual that negates all their fusion, synchro, and exceed monsters. And you could even have one of your Chaos Max on the field too. But that's usually what you want to do, so you can negate it. You've got an Omni negate, and you negate all their monster effects for the most part, except for links and stuff like that. So, and that's pretty strong to be able to end up on. And then also, if you went into Zaborg, then they lost 8 cards out of their extra deck, and you went +3. So I mean, it's just. And you're so set up for your next turn to OTK them. So that's why the first going first is actually pretty strong in this deck. It can put up a big problem for your opponent. Now for the last 3, I just chose it for non-targeting spot removal, Dingirsu. This again, these spots you can do whatever you want. I just chose to play him, so because having non-targeting and being able to go into Dingirsu is pretty good. So but you can choose what you want to play if you want to, you want to go into some different, level 8s or whatever like that. But these are the ones I chose to play just for situationals. Like I've got my 3 spots for negates, non-targeting removal, and then, the Herald and the Elder Entity to mix with, my Zaborg. So, and then I just chose the Galaxy Eyes little package there. So, because they each have their own little effect, taking monsters and stuff like that. But it all contributes to, how the deck synergizes with each other. So that's it, guys. Let me know what you think of the build. I really like this one. It's really consistent. And keep an eye out. The next one I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be putting out my the fusion build with the big fusion monster there with the big ultimate alternative eyes. That's a fun deck too. I got it all pretty much put together here. I think I'm just waiting on maybe a card or 2, and I'll be having those out. I'm kind of doing more of a nostalgic builds to put up on the channel for the next like 2 or 3 videos. I plan on doing a couple different Blue Eyes decks. I'm going to be doing a pure control Dark Magician that can pretty much battle the meta. Now if you guys want to see some decks like going forward that are just more pure and more nostalgic and stick just to them, let me know, because the Dark Magician deck that I'm going to be putting out doesn't have like all the normal Dark Magician cards in it and stuff like that. This was really to combat the meta, because I want to bring back some of these nostalgic decks to be able to play against this Adamantipator and Eldritch, and the format just seems to be getting stale again, honestly, like it was when Orcus were running rampant, and just, and they're going to be back too. So, I'd like to see more decks out there, other than just the 2 deck format that we've seemed to have for years now. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe. I'd love to hear what you guys think of the deck, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.